Hello, family. Welcome to another session of Maths Fanatics 24/7. So here we're going to be looking at trigonometry. Okay, so they say in the sketch below, P is a point on the Cartesian plane with POX equals to theta. Then they say use the sketch to determine the following. Okay, so ladies and gents, this is what you're going to do before you even read the questions. If you have a trigonometric diagram, you're always going to complete a right-angled triangle and analyze it and get all the dimensions of that right-angled triangle before you even go to answer the questions. So just like here, I'm seeing that my arm, it's here, right? When you complete your right-angled triangle, your line always goes down to the x-axis. You must always go down to the x-axis. If you go there, your diagram becomes wrong. You never go to the y-axis, you go down to the x-axis. Then remember, this value here, it's x, right? So on the x-axis, the first part of the coordinate goes there. So this will be negative √2 because it's on the x part of the coordinate, so it must go to the x-axis, right? And then our y is going to be here because it's parallel to the y-axis. You see, it's parallel to the y-axis. Perfect. And then since I have a right angle triangle, I can easily get the value of y, right? So y will be equals to plus minus square root of, you always start with the hypotenuse if you're looking for one of the short sides. So it's going to be 2 squared because our hypotenuse is 2. This is our height, right? And then this is our, so theta is here basically. So that will be our up. And then this will be our adjacent. Because if you check this side, it's very closer to theta. That's why we call it the adjacent. And that one is far away from theta. We call it the opposite. Awesome. And then we are minusing by negative √2. Make sure to use brackets, ladies and gentlemen. So here I have plus minus. Let's see. So it's 4 minus 2. So it's 2. So the answer will be 2. If you press this on your calculator, it should give you that, right? But this is not the final answer. You always have to check which axis are you parallel with. So in this case, I'm seeing that I'm parallel with this axis here, and this axis is positive. Do you see it? So the y value there must be positive because it's parallel to the y-axis that is positive. You see, the reason why here we have a negative is because the x-axis is negative on this side. Those are the most important things to always check when you complete your triangle, the signs on the x and y. So I'm going to say, therefore, y equals to positive square root of 2. Right? I can even be too mathematical here and just show that y is greater than 0. But you don't need to. If you want to, you can, but it's not compulsory. Okay. Now I have my height. I have my up, which is square root of 2. I have my adjacent, which is negative square root of 2. I can now go to the questions, right? On 5.1.1, they want us to determine the value of y, of which we already did. Is there? Awesome. And then they want us to determine the value of 2 sine theta, cos theta over cos squared theta minus 1. Remember, ladies and gents, by definition of SOH, TOA, sine theta is basically opposite divided by hypotenuse. Cos theta is adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and tan is opposite divided by adjacent. I mean, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, awesome. So now, on my formula here, I'm going to make brackets here. Brackets, brackets. So a square, basically, the bracket for this part here will be like this. You put it, because it is a square, you're going to put a square there. Awesome. So now we can do our substitution. I have 2, which is this one, right? And then the sine theta, I'm going to replace it by op divided by height, right? Sine theta, we replace it by op divided by height. So my op is square root 2, my height is 2. And then my cos, we're going to replace it by arch divided by height. So it's negative square root 2 over 2. And then we're going to say over the same thing, cos, it's negative root 2 over 2. But remember, because of the square, we need to put a square there. Then we put a minus, right? And then let's see, what does this give us? So this, you're going to use a calculator now. Ne? You're going to use a calculator here. But when you use when the question says without using the calculator, ladies and gents, I want to give you a hint. They don't mean you technically cannot use a calculator at all. They just mean show the working out. Okay. Sure. So I'm going to show step by step of my calculation. For example, here I can start by multiplying this one and that one and computing the square of that. Do you get it? Sure. So now I'm going to say, so in bracket, root 2 over 2, close bracket, negative root 2 over 2, right? Perfect. That gives me negative 1 over 2. Ne? But remember, the 2 is still there. So I have the 2, and then this 2 gives me negative 1 over 2. And then I have over. Let's see, what does this one give us? Okay, let's see. So I'm going to go there, delete, 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 delete. And then I'm going to put the negative inside. And then we're going to square it. Ne? So that gives us 1 over 2. So here I have 1 over 2 minus 1, right? And then now you can press a calculator to get the value of that, and or of everything now actually is still okay, right? So here, if you press a calculator, you're going to get negative 1. And then at the bottom, you're getting negative half. And then this totally gives you 2. And then you're done with this question, ladies and gentlemen. If you found this video really helpful with solving trigonometric diagrams, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'll be uploading more of this content. And don't forget to share with family and friends. Aluta continua. Tango.